I must say that Klondike Gold also supports CEO.CA. It's a great site.
Thank you.
And I'm usually on your side looking in, listening to these talks, so it's kind of neat that I'm here. So Klondike Gold Corp, obviously, we are in the Yukon. We're exploring for gold in the Klondike. Basically, we're based directly outside of Dawson. I threw this slide in first because I've had a number of questions from the audience here and others about First Nations issues. So we're directly outside of Dawson in the historic Klondike area. The Trondike-Witchen, our homeland, is in Dawson, based there, and so we basically coexist with them. And 2 years ago, our corporate team played ball with them. I'm on an advisory committee for mining with the Trondike, and basically at the near stage or the early stage of this particular project, it's important just to have community involvement. That's really what that looks like. Start of the talk, why gold? I'm not really go there because Eric has already covered this. Negative interest rates, and that is one reason. But something you probably haven't heard from an exploration point of view, there's been exploration around the world has increased in cost, and the discoveries for gold in particular have decreased. And that trend is carried on beyond the data that's shown there. It has implications for how majors behave, and the majors are of particular interest to Klondike Gold because corporately we're trying to design our exploration and exploration programs to attract majors. The majors are all over the Yukon right now. They're exceedingly interested in it because it's an excellent jurisdiction to work. In our case, land claims are settled with the Trondikes who favor mining. And we have several neighbors that are just trying to put deposits into production. So what they want, because of the high cost of exploration and the low return from rocks, are places where you can find district scale opportunities and concentrate your efforts in that area. So you can basically concentrate engineering, you can concentrate mills and things, and it's of considerable economic advantage to the majors. So what I'm going to discuss later on is why that's important to Klondike Gold. Why Klondike Gold? So in late 2013, I'm here as president of Klondike Gold only kind of through the back door. I was invited to audit the company in late 2013 because the principal investor, Frank Justra, had lost quite a bit of money investing in the previous iteration of it. And Klondike Gold has been around since 1978 exploring in the Klondike and has had considerably no success at all for various reasons during that time up till 2013. The last iteration of it, basically they took $5 million and flushed it down the toilet. So I was hired privately to look at the company and answer two questions. Number one, where did my money go? Number two, is the asset underneath it any good? Answer to the former was, your money's all gone, forget about it. Number two, though, was that the exploration work for the last 30 odd years has been exceedingly poor. And not that anybody's really going to believe it, but this is an opportunity. It's basically a grassroots, completely unexplored belt that has not had any professional attention for quite a long time. And so I personally thought it was an excellent opportunity. Frank made me an offer I couldn't personally refuse, which was go do it and I'll give you the money. So as a consequence, we ultimately paid $1.5 million for this to settle the debts of the previous people. And just recently, in the last month and a half, we acquired for $500,000 the rest of the belt, which I'll tell you about. As a consequence of that financing, and I spent in 2014 the full year doing corporate cleanup. It wasn't fun, it was a major mess, and it is now all done. And that's led to exploration programs in 2015 and 2016. But from a major shareholding point of view, I draw your attention to the right-hand lower side. Justra and his affiliated groups own over 20%. There's two private investors who each own a little over 5%. Roberto, the Aquilini Group, which is another billionaire property management group here own some, insiders own some. Basically, there's about half of the company is owned by this group of 5. On the warrants side, that group of 5, which includes insiders, disproportionately own most of those warrants, about 70% of them. Shares issued today, 54 million. We trade at 20 cents, so we're currently trading at between 10 and 16 million market cap if you're fully diluted. So why? Why would you want to go and buy anything? Why would you want to do anything with Klondike Gold? Basically, for the last 100 odd years, people have taken 20 million ounces of gold out of the gravels that have been eroded directly from the rocks that we have in our claims. And nobody's really found any source at all. The total take from mining bedrock is 1,200 ounces over 100 and some odd years, which leads me to suggest that it's been poorly explored as well. The bedrock sources in the bottom we have found since I started: Nugget Zone, Gay Gulch. We've drilled Violet. We are now drilling Lone Star, which is something that was known previously. From a district scale, let's make ourselves attractive to majors. We basically, at the beginning of the year, owned half of the Klondike, the historic gold production where all the 20 million ounces came from. A month and a half ago, we bought the other half. So now, and well, I don't have a pointer, but it's all the kind of the non-hashed green area is the area that has been the source of the 20 million ounces. Up in the top left, where it's blank, is where the Klondike homeland is. And I think we're getting a relationship with the Klondikes where we might actually get access to that as well in the future. The geology is poorly known. There is not a company map that spans the entire belt. So this is from 1986, and that's the state of the art as the government knew it then, and that's the best map there is. It has a lot of features on it that are unexplainable by the geology that they have published, and that's because it's a structurally hosted orogenic system, and nobody's ever looked for that or described where the faults are or why they might be associated with the gold. We're doing that. We also own placer claims in the district, and as some of you already know, I've been on Gold Rush, and that financed Klondike Gold for the last 2 years. I'm the evil claim lord for the Hoffmans. That was a straight mining deal that provided $750,000 to Klondike. So kind of in a summary, why would you invest in Klondike Gold? We're looking for 20 million ounces of gold derived. They've been mined out of the gravels. There must be some left. An orogenic gold model would suggest that there's kilometers of vertical, which is consistently mineralized. That means that regardless of what's been eroded, there's some left. And I would propose to you that the concept that there's got to be 1 million ounces out there somewhere herded up in some spot is probably accurate. We don't have, so it's 1 million ounces potential for a greenfield discovery. We are drilling. It's kind of where Eric was coming from. If we hit it out of the park, and we'll just keep drilling until we do that. It's visible gold, coarse. So far, every bit of data we have suggests that it would be free milling. The previous operators would actually crush rock and table it across a placer table to recover the gold physically. What have we done recently, though? In the last 2 years, we've drilled a total of 90 holes. 2015, we drilled 19 holes. This year, we've drilled 71. One part of this, the $1 million financing in 2016, that was done at 30 cents. At the time, the market was 22. It was 22 cents. It was an over-market financing, although it did have a warrant. We currently have $1.5 million in cash. And as a summary, 19 holes drilled last year. 14 of those had visible gold in them. The point of that whole program was to prove to our own investors that there actually was gold in the bedrock, because nobody previously had been able to find it. This year, with a little more confidence, we drilled 71 holes. We have a discovery at Nugget. We have another one at Gay Gulch. That's Nugget. It's consistent over 250 meters. Ultimately, that's a resource estimatable zone. And as a property infrastructure, you're looking at a paved highway. It's 20, I don't know if anybody's ever been to Dawson. Our first drill pad this year was 22 kilometers from Gertie's, which is the hurdy-gurly bar that everybody would go and watch. The corner here is about 18 kilometers. It has a gas station, a couple of gas stations, run electricity, airports. The neighborhood is filled with majors. Kinross was, the Underworld acquisition by Kinross is down the road. Goldcorp just recently. The Goldcorp Mine Road passes directly through our property and all that infrastructure. And so basically we are here, we currently have a less than 16 million market cap. We are drilling, we have 23 holes left to assay and report for this year. Thank you very much.